Hi, before we begin, let's take a moment to pray that a certain corporation does not copyright strike this video. Alright, now I'm aware what I'm about to say may be a little odd, but just hear me out. Mickey used to be pretty badass.
Corny ass nigga.
Now, I am exaggerating a little bit, but before the Walt Disney Company chose to settle down Mickey into a tame suburbanite setting, and long before animator Paul Rudish brought some of his much-needed talent to the IP in his critically acclaimed shorts, Mickey was being tested out, so to speak, by one man, Floyd Gottfredson, in the Sunday strip illustrated by and penned mostly by him until Bill Walsh partnered with him. Floyd took Mickey on a variety of adventures more suited for, say, Indiana Jones or Rocky Balboa or other movie action heroes. These comic strips, published weekly in the morning newspaper from 1930 till I believe 1980 something, brought a interesting blend of adventure and funny animal comedy not really seen until then, with our titular character taking center stage. It's in these strips you get to really see a much more interesting, less corporate-friendly and light-hearted take on the character, who has permanently infected the cultural zeitgeist. In his first ever comic story, to my knowledge, the spaghetti-styled western Race to Death Valley, we get to see a Mickey who's a little more rude, making casual zingers mocking his friends, and taking joy in literally beating his enemies over the head. He's a very crafty guy, but also pretty determined. He's got this never-say-die attitude when faced with a setback, and it's very interesting and refreshing. The dude loves adventure, and it really shows in his early personality. My favorite bit happens early on in the story, when Mickey, cornered by a henchman, threatens to shoot him full of holes, only to then accidentally grab an umbrella instead of his revolver. There's this long section on a train which sees Mickey turn into the kind of stuntman Tom Cruise wishes he was, jumping on and off of trains, dumping his pursuers off of said trains, and making a dashing getaway mid-journey. Reading this section brought to mind vivid images of movies like The General or The Hurricane Express, even if these strips predate that film serial. The action never stops either, with Mickey eventually earning the ire of the local sheriff, who then tried to lynch the poor guy. But this is Mickey, so of course things wind up ending happily, the bad guy loses, yada yada yada. On top of that, Floyd prevents anything from getting too dark with healthy injections of slapstick and Mickey's funny little zingers every now and then. This movie serial format is the approach the series would mostly take until Mickey's domestication, with a huge standout being the immediate next storyline, where Mickey, depressed that Minnie wants to bone somebody other than him, tries to kill himself repeatedly, like over and over, until those funny, cute Disney animals that are from, like, Snow White or something show up and encourage him not to. It's almost like they're saying, "No, you're a cash cow, stop!" This arc's good fun, with Mickey having to outwit a thieving city slicker and befriend his hired gang of thieves. One of them, Butch, even shows up in the next big arc, helping Mickey win a boxing match after the guy he was training dips. I don't blame him either. I'd dip too if I had to fight that guy. As I said earlier, later strips aren't as thrilling, with Mickey settling down into a light sci-fi adventure with Goofy and Minnie as ever-present background characters in the suburban setting that would later be called Mousetown. God, I feel like a dork saying that. The shift happens once the strip starts drawing Mickey with normal eyes instead of the dots, a look I never liked since it always looked so soulless compared to early Disney. I think Disney might even agree, because the Rudish shorts have returned back to the dot eyes, and they're more popular than anything else with the character right now. There are some exceptions to that quiet suburban comedy approach strip take. Volume 8 of the collection, An Island Adventure, sees Mickey witness his old foe Pegleg Pete get burned alive by lava while trying to steal some gold, with the immediate next strip seeing his robot love interest get shot to death by Pete. How is Pete alive after getting burned to death by lava? It's comic books. No one stays dead in comic books. And our antagonist Drusilla, in the penultimate arc of the volume, burns alive in her own laboratory house. Volume 8 has the unintended message of cross Mickey and you're fucking dead, Jesus. Mickey had some more adventures with some bite to them. He gets his own clone saga, has a barn fight with gypsies using improvised weaponry in a way that make Jackie Chan proud. So much more that I haven't even covered. Hell, there's even his Italian stories, Topolino, where he's a detective akin to Dick Tracy. There's just so much out there that's so divorced from the goody two-shoes image that Disney likes to keep firmly embedded in the public conscious. Admittedly, I found myself stuck between enjoying the early story's more brawler take on Mickey, and later having a fellow who outthinks his opponents, but either way, they're fun stories for kids and adults, and they've been collected into 12 volumes. The first 5-ish have the Mickey I like with the nice dot eyes, and the other have the soulless abomination. But they're all good fun. Next vid's either going to be a movie or a manga video. I haven't decided yet. Be sure and subscribe. Subscribe, please.